Biju. I am going to be your Sergeant at Arms for the day. I am welcoming all of you for the 64th meeting of Newstart Toastmasters Club. A big round of applause. Last week, I had attended a meeting in a club, what at the Toastmasters Club. One motivator came from India and he was giving some speech. From there, I got a message that I want to share with the fellow Toastmasters today. So he was telling, if we want to become a good speaker, we need to be a good actor. So I was thinking how we can be an actor. Yes, we have a good platform as a Toastmaster. So we can come there and we can develop our skills. But be an actor, it's something different. So he explained in detail about what he meant. As an actor means actor. What is spelling of actor? A-C-T-O-R. That is actor. So A stands for action. While we delivering a speech, or body language, or hand gestures, and our eye-to-eye contact, all is there. Only then we can grab the attention from the audience. So that is stands for A, action. C means concentration. We need to be very concentrated. What we are talking, where we are talking, to whom we are talking, in which situation we are talking. That's called concentration. T stands for timing. Our speech definitely need a timing mechanism. We cannot deliver a speech as a non-stop train. So T stands for a timing. O stands for originality. What we are talking to the public or to the audience, they need to feel this is come from our heart. Some originality should be feel, only then we can grab the attention from the audience. R stands for rhythm. Our speech definitely need a rhythm. Only then the others can understand our speech. So be a good speaker. We need to be act as an actor. Action, concentration, originality, timing, and rhythm. Only then we can say we are a good speaker. With this note, back to our normal meeting. There is 3 ground rules for all the Toastmasters meeting. We will not talk about sex, politics, and religion during the meeting. And I request all the members and guests, kindly switch off your mobile and put it on a silent mode during this meeting. So, mission of the Toastmaster. Let's see, mission of the Toastmaster. Mission of the Toastmaster is to provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in a greater confidence and personal growth. Without any further introduction, today I would like to call a person. Within a short span of time, he made his own space in our club. He is very enthusiastic, energetic, vibrant, and a good speaker, none other than Toastmaster Anshuman. Give a big round of applause, Toastmaster Anshuman. Toastmaster Anshuman, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Toastmaster Biju. As our president has been busy this entire week with professional commitments and is giving a speech today, one which we are all eagerly looking forward to, I will be taking over the presidential duties today, and I hope I can do justice to that role. So, good evening, everyone. And the weather is great outside. The festive season has dawned upon us. And recently, UAE just celebrated its 50th National Day with a nice long weekend. I'm sure all of you enjoyed. Christmas and New Year is around the corner, and the expo is on in full swing. But the big news at this moment is UAE's plan to adopt a new weekend with a probably 4.5-day work week. Probably something that all of us is pretty excited about and really hopeful about, something to look forward to the new year. So on that positive note, with the power vested in me, I declare the meeting open. So coming to today's meeting, we would like to dedicate it to what I believe are the true heroes of every Toastmaster meeting. You know, we are often quick to judge Toastmasters as a platform that produces great speakers. But one must remember that behind every great speaker, there is a great evaluator who patiently listens and gives us constructive feedback. And today, we are fortunate to have amongst us three such evaluators. Firstly, Toastmaster Blian, Toastmaster who will be evaluating Toastmaster Rajalakshmi's project speech. Toastmaster Blian, would you like to just introduce yourself?
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All right, great. Thank you for having me and for the opportunity. Well, my name is Brian. I'm the president of Spice Toastmasters Club. Well, I've been a Toastmaster for the last 3 years, and as a profession, I'm an entrepreneur into software development. So thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Blian. Secondly, we have Toastmaster Tina, who has graciously offered to be the general evaluator for this meeting. So Toastmaster Tina, would you like to introduce yourself to our club?
Thank you so much. Good evening. Thank you to Toastmaster Anshuman, and good evening to everyone. I'm Toastmaster Tina Satish. I'm actually the IPP of the Showstoppers Toastmasters and also a member of the Muhesna Toastmasters, and also a part of the Area 31 team with PR and the secretary. I've been a Toastmaster since the year 2019, and it's been a great experience, a great learning experience, and I'm hoping to learn more in today's session with Newstart, which always, every time I'm here, I always have a lot of to take home. So I'm hoping for more this evening too. So thank you so much for the invite. I'm graced to be here with all of you. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tina, and we're glad to hear that. And last but not the least, we are fortunate to have amongst us a champion speaker, DTM Hashim Halim. We are thankful that he has agreed to give his time, effort, and ideas to educate us as to how to go about crafting a good speech evaluation. Toastmaster DTM Hashim Halim, would you like to just give a small introduction?
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. Good evening, everyone here at Newstart Toastmasters Club. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope that in today's session I'll be able to share some wisdom that you can use to step up your evaluations, and hope it will be useful for all of you, especially with the contest season coming up. So it'll be a good way to use your long weekends and practice your evaluations at various clubs. Looking forward to that. Back to you, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thank you, DTM Hashim. And we're really looking forward to your session. So I believe that we do not have any guests amongst us today, so we can go straight to the meeting. So let's begin by introducing today's star of today's meeting. He is a Toastmaster veteran, and apart from being a great speaker and leader, today he will enlighten us with some tips as to how to invest smartly and attain a better life. I think something we all can agree is essential for people of all ages. So Toastmaster Raghu, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. Thank you so much for the nice introduction. First of all, so I brought a theme today. I thought I may be able to make some justice, and maybe it will help you all. I know you are all, experienced in all the areas. You people need not require guidance, but I put my experiences and my knowledge here, and I will give some guidances. Maybe it will help you. Okay, let us move on to today's theme: smart investing for better living. Anshuman, can you share this one? Can you maybe the co-host?
Yeah, done.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, smart investing is an extension of the basic principles of investing and entails making the right investment choices that meet your specific needs to help you achieve your future financial goals. Allows you to create an additional source of income, provides a long-term financial security. Additionally, since passive income is not limited by your time and effort, it can have a positive and significant effect on your ability to build wealth. Now, when it comes to smart investing, smart investments when we make, we always think about stocks. Maybe we are thinking about various other things, but one thing comes into our mind is stocks, shares. Now, what exactly we do whenever we go for investing in stocks, we blindly go. That is one of the things. Or we, when I was 22 years old, I have the habit of investing. When I came to Dubai, then I lost that interest into it because I became very busy over here. So this is one of the things happens with everybody. We come, young age, we come here and we forget everything, how to invest and all that. Because once we come over here, we are very busy with our job and other issues and all that. So we don't take care of ourselves. Now, when it comes to finance, if we are the shareholders of a shares, of a company, what happens? We think that we are the owner, in a proportion, we are the owner of the company. So we think, oh, this company should grow. So when we think like that, we should select proper shares, proper companies we select. Now, I will show you some of the companies where if you see this stocks for the rest of your life, can you buy anything now with this? Because its price is already very high. It is quite impossible. However, you can think large sectors. These are all the very high priced shares. Now, when it comes to stocks that double every 4 years, these are all the assessment. If we do, we can do that. Now, in this, again, I can see only 2 shares we can afford. One is Tata Consumer Products, and another is ICICI Bank. However, normally financial companies, as you see, it may not grow so high. When it comes to consumer products, definitely it will go up. So if you invest into Tata Consumer Products, that will make your profile stronger and financially you will become stronger. And you see stocks pick for, this is the stocks, large cap, mid cap and small cap. These large cap and mid cap only big companies can buy. We cannot afford. Whereas we can think of small caps, we can pick it and we can keep it for the longer run. That will give definitely good, your profile definitely make very good. So if we at the right time, if you purchase a proper share, we have to plan that which share we have to purchase and what is the benefit in shares. One is you will get dividends. Another one you get bonus shares. Another one you get called up shares. Another one you get debentures. Debenture for a specified interest rate. So these are the things, when I was doing my graduation, I learned all these things. But when I started buying shares, I understood that these are the factors. So this area, when you purchase a share, when bonus share comes freely, dividend comes freely, these are all the extra income for you. So called up share, again, an opportunity for you to invest in the same company. If company is doing very good, it's an opportunity. Debentures, it's also another opportunity. Debentures, more or less, as I know, Reliance Industry is the one, they started introducing good shares. That's one thing. Another, now moving on to the second thing, people invest into commodities. When it comes to commodities in terms of maybe it is oil, silver, gold, copper, wheat, any product, it can be, it is in the international market, it is there. But more or less these commodities, this is related to US market. In UAE, everybody calls you, say, invest, they say. When you bring the money there, then you don't get proper support, but you will, it's like a fishing. They are fishing you and you are investing and you are going into commodities and then get trapped. One fine day, you will lose everything. That is very risky. Commodities, very risky. Why? The price goes up and price comes down. Both times you can make profit, but sometimes you get stuck, then you lose everything. That is one of the thing happens in commodities. In cryptocurrencies, I want to tell you that cryptocurrencies introduced in 2010 when Bitcoin came. I was the one commenting on that. It will become a bogus. It will be like, Telagi scam. I was telling at that time, the guy who had a coffee in US, he paid 3 Bitcoins and he had a coffee. Today he says, I paid $165,000 for one coffee. He says, few days back, Bitcoin's price was 47,000. Today it is 50. Yesterday it was 58,000. It moves up and down. But when you go for invest companies here, you can make profit, and at the same time suddenly you will lose everything. So cryptocurrency is also one of the thing. It is not, I never suggest you to go for it. However, I say that identify under which tool it has been introduced, cryptocurrency, and if something is available below $200 or $100, if you can buy 5 cryptocurrencies, purchase and keep. Maybe your children will get benefited with that. At that time, maybe price will be very high. That is one of the things you can do with cryptocurrencies. And Forex also, I don't suggest it. It is like, again, it's like, commodities, the way it goes up and down and you will lose everything. Indexes also, you will lose everything. Whereas when it comes to mutual fund, I suggest you all go for it. Mutual fund is one of the best source for you to make your income properly. You can go for a good mutual fund companies and go for the investment. Do at the right age. Maybe if your son is 18 years old, then try to push him for that little. That's one thing. And if you have not done that, you go for that. Another thing I will talk, I'm speaking about paintings. In the world, one thing I observed is paintings. People invest on that. It's like, it's a fancy thing. Okay, I have money, what to do? I'll go for painting or this painting. That way it happens. If you get a painting original painting in $20, if you get, buy and keep, maybe your children will get millions in that. That's possible. One of the things I suggest you. Do that, 2-3 paintings, original paintings. If you get it at $20, $30, buy and keep it. One fine day, it might fetch very good amounts. So that way, that is, then moving on to investment in buildings. When we invest in buildings, we go for, we construct a house, first floor, second floor, we construct, and the 2-story, this one. However, what amount we get in, we are getting 1 or 2% as rent. That will not help you. So rather than that, I suggest you have to go for renting out shops, such things, leasing it out. Even you have single bedroom to rent it out, lease it out, because every month you are not supposed to go and collect the amounts. Rather than 1 year, 2 year, you are leasing it out. That will fetch good amounts. So with this, let us move on to today's, I will take again later. Let us move on to today's session. Now, today we have 3 segments, and plus we have an education session. In the first segment is called the prepared speeches, where members come forward with a speech based on objectives given in the speech manual. This requires a lot of research and preparation. So it is our job to encourage them with thunderous applause. The second segment is called impromptu speeches. You will be given a topic and will be asked to talk about it for 2 minutes. Though it looks very simple, easy, it really tests your impromptu thinking and speaking skills. The third segment is called evaluations. In this segment, the evaluator point out the strengths and the scope for improvements of our speakers. They help us to differentiate the right from the wrong and offer suggestions to improve to the speakers. And in addition to this, today we have education session on evaluation. Before we move on to the session, let us introduce the silent role players. We have with us the Zoom master. As Zoom master, Toastmaster Anshuman is going to handle the job. And we have with us Toastmaster Ayush as the timer. Toastmaster Ayush, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, thank you. And may I request you to explain about your role?
Yes, my role is to time each role and give timings report about speeches, evaluations, and table topics.
Okay, thank you. And another silent role player is Grammarian. May I request Toastmaster Shobha to explain the audience about your role?
Hi, good evening. If I'm silent, I'm not supposed to explain. Okay, as a grammarian, I'm supposed to listen to everyone, like right from the start to the before me to should be, I think, the evaluator, and then also highlight the good usage of English language and point out the not so. I think I would like to put it there, and how we can improve, where we could have done it better. That's what I'm supposed to do. Over to you, Team Modi.
Thank you. And Toastmaster Anshuman, as a accounter, can you please explain about your role, please?
Yes, so as an accounter, I will note any word or sound used as a crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Word may be inappropriate interjection such as and, well, but, so, you know, or sounds like etc.
Good. Thank you. And as I understand from Shobha, she does not know about passive income at all. And as I understand from Anshuman is one of the person who started investing, as his father is also doing. So definitely he will, going to earn very good income from this, definitely. Okay, that's one thing. And now we have the first item in the agenda is word of the day. We have with us the charming budding Toastmaster Biju, to handle this role. May I request Toastmaster Biju to take up the role? Please put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Biju. Toastmaster Biju, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. So today I'm going to introduce a new word. And before that, the purpose of the word of the day is to increase our vocabulary. So today I bought a new word. Let's share my screen. Can you see my screen? Hello?
We can see, yeah.
Okay.
One second. No, it is gone.
No.
Raghu, where did you see Raghu?
No, it is gone.
We can't see Vijay.
That's okay.
No.
Why do you get more than me?
Yes.
Now it's come. Yeah.
That was come.
Can you see now?
Yeah, it's come now.
Okay. Okay, so today's word is commodious. 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 Commodious meaning comfortably or conveniently spacious. Origination of this word. Early 15th century, from Old French, commodious means beneficial, convenient. From medieval Latin, commodious means convenient or useful. And from Latin, commodious means proper, fit, appropriate, convenient, satisfactory, plus modest, measure, manner. Some quotes. We may enjoy our room in the tower with the painted walls and commodious bookcase. But down in the garden, there is a man digging who buried his father this morning. And it is he and his like who live the real life and speak the real language. Virginia Woolf, English writer. The different forms of this word: commodiously, it's an adverb, and commodiousness, it's a noun. Synonyms and antonyms. Synonyms: ample, roomy, spacious, broad, wide, tidy, bulky, considerable. And antonyms: confined, cramped, incommodious, limited, narrow, restricted, small, tight, tiny. Some of the example with this word. The apartment is not commodious enough for us. The habitation was not merely respectable and commodious, but even dignified and imposing. Guest rooms are commodious and well appointed. 3 well-planned and commodious hospital buildings represent the benevolent work of the community. So I request all the role players to use this word maximum today's roles, and we will go for a small round robin session with 2 or 3 people. So let me stop the screen sharing. So who want to come first? Rajalakshmi, can you try? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Toastmaster, Blaine.
Yeah, hi. The Zoom platform has made Toastmasters meeting very commodious in the present times. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else? Toastmaster Rajalakshmi.
Yeah, since we shifted near to my office place, it is very commodious for me as I don't want to travel much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Raj. Who wants to try?
I one day wish to stay in a nice, commodious apartment in Burj Khalifa.
Wow. Thank you. We'll go for 2 more people only.
Okay, I would like to
Okay.
maybe
DTM Hashim.
Yeah, go ahead, Toastmaster.
Yeah,
It's
okay. Toastmaster Shobha.
No, it's okay, so you can.
No. Okay.
Go ahead.
Come on.
I forgot. I think though the apartments in Bombay are not commodious enough, the rents, I think the price of them are huge. Like
exorbitant.
Yeah. That's why it's Bombay.
Yeah.
Okay. DTM Hashim.
Yeah. When you come for a Toastmasters meeting, your mind should be commodious because there's so much to learn.
Oh. So with this, back to TMOD Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Biju. Very well handled. Thank you. Now we are moving on to the project speech session. We have today one speaker. The speaker is attempting level 2, project 1, effective coaching, understanding your leadership style, with the title, The Leader in You. She is in Toastmasters 2.5 years, current president of Newstart. She is a financial professional and she wants to know how to generate passive income as she doesn't have one. She definitely requires to go for that. And our first speaker today attempting effective coaching, the title Leader in You. Toastmasters, may I request her evaluator to read out the objectives, please, Toastmaster Bilan.
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu.
Yep.
My speaker, who's attempting her level 2 project 1 speech with the speech title Leadership, the Leader in You. The purpose of her project is for the member to identify her primary leadership style. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. And the speech timings are 5 to 7 minutes. I would like to wish Toastmaster Rajalakshmi all the best. Over to you, Toastmaster Raghu.
Toastmaster Rajalakshmi, the leader in you. The leader in you, Toastmaster Rajalakshmi. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. How many of you here believe that leaders are born? Okay. How many of you believe that leaders can be made? Of course, leaders are born and then they are made. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests. Similar to any other skills, leadership also can be learned through our own experiences or through the experiences of other people or by training or by coaching, and also applying these skills into our daily lives. Let me share my personal experience about the leadership styles. Since I work in finance field, our main task is to finish the month-end activities. Here, the leadership assigns the duties to those people who are excellent in handling certain kind of tasks. Suppose person X has been assigned with the month-end activities. Person Y has been assigned with the consolidation of reports. The leadership assigns these duties based on their experiences and based on their expertise, so that the leadership can be free from these activities and they can allocate their timing for their business strategy, other business strategies. But what happens here when person X or person Y does the job continuously for repeated n number of times, it becomes boring for them. Here again, the leadership skills comes in place. The leader has to identify and mix and match the profile based on the situation or based on the people whom he is dealing with. So this kind of leadership is defined as democratic or participative kind of leadership. In this democratic leadership, the leader delegates the duty to its team members. He entrusts his team members that things are getting done by assigning or delegating properly based on their expertise. This is what happened in the case of Apple. When Steve Jobs adopted participative or democratic leadership styles, Apple soared. He started as a charismatic or laissez-faire leader. Apple soared, and when he turned into an autocratic leader, the board of directors of Apple asked for his resignation. Later on, after 10 years, when Steve Jobs came back and he adapted different styles of leaderships into his establishment, he hired different experienced people from outside, and also he has given coaching mainly to his manufacturing expert, Tim Cook. He has become the CEO of Apple later on. That is how, by adapting different kinds of leadership, especially through this democratic or this participative kind of leadership, Apple survived in the industry. Another kind of leadership which I believe I have with me is coaching style of leadership. When I was working in a retail industry, I was fortunate enough to give coaching to the store managers. I was assigned to give a coaching based on cash compliances, how the shortages can be reduced in a supermarket environment on a daily basis, or how the fake currency can be detected. I gave a detailed coaching on how the fake currencies can be detected, or how to use the fake currency machines, or what are the different techniques we can use to reduce the shortages on a day-to-day basis. The coaching was well accepted by the audience or by the store managers, and they applied all these techniques which I have explained during my coaching, and it came out as a very positive response from each of the stores. Nowadays, what I feel and what I want to develop when it comes to leadership is the third kind of leadership style is altruistic leadership. I feel like this has become the need of the hour, because especially in this corporate field, the work-life balance that is more demanding now. So an altruistic is exactly opposite of egoism. Altruistic leader gives importance to the emotional intelligence or personal feelings or empathy, trying to understand the personal needs of the team members and try to boost the morale. That is how an altruistic leader should be. To conclude, when we try to improve our leadership styles, we as Toastmasters try to help others also to improve in their leadership styles, because we are Toastmasters where the leaders are made. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Rajalakshmi. Very well spoken. Thank you. And please take 30 seconds to write your valuable feedback on the, maybe you can send through chat or some other means you can give it to her. Yeah. Yeah, let us move on to smart investing for better living. When I was telling you about shares, one of the thing we have to regularly review in case we are buying any shares, we have to understand about the companies. You know, 3 years back, I was into purchases through Carvey. What they have done is they have Yes Bank shares. A lot of customers had. They have utilized that and they did a big scam, 2,000 crore scam. As a result, and in the meanwhile, some other scams within Yes Bank took place. We did not notice, and as a result, I had my 1,500 dirham because I have invested 1,500 shares. Suddenly it came down now to 12 rupees. I lost. Okay, because if you are regularly watching what's happening behind the scenes, we can control that. Otherwise, we will not come to know. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is I purchased 2,000 shares, which is at only ₹4. Why I purchased that share? Because I was anticipating one of the government is going to change, and as a result, definitely this company will get an opportunity. And it happened. In the meanwhile, my share broking company got closed. So I could not sell my shares. It was lying. In the meanwhile, COVID, I could not go. And recently I went to India and I got it done and I sold. I got 34,000. I invested just 8,000. So same way, when I 1993, I spent 8,000. I got 2 lakh in the year 2000. Another shares I invested just 16,000. I got 1,40,000. So this is how it shares, that over a period, long run, it will help you a lot. So moving on to next, investment in lands, housing lands, farmlands, and stockyards. Why we have to invest in lands, I will tell you. If you get some agricultural lands, if you take 2 acres of lands, after 10 years, you don't find such lands. And housing lands, how it fetches. I purchased a housing land in 2005. I paid just 7 lakh, and today it is 80 lakhs. So that is how the changes takes place. So investment in buildings, if you investment in buildings in the urban area or the cities, then it will fetch good. Otherwise, other areas, buildings will not give you much yields. And another thing, why I told stockyards, over a period, a lot of companies coming and investment in India, they find big lands as stock area or farmlands they find. At that time, this will help if you have something. So investing into 2 acres of lands in farmlands or stockyards, in a remote area somewhere, that will over a period definitely fetch. And in when high yield saving accounts, now high yield saving accounts, I suggest you not to go for any private companies and all that unless the company is very strong. Like, why I say this, PMC bank, everybody invested in that bank. Invested in the sense deposited. All retirees put their money into PMC bank because they were giving 2% extra than others. And since politicians involved in the board of directors positions, so there has been big scam and everybody lost their money. Now RBI is planning to take over that. That is one thing happening. That's good if it happens. Otherwise, so many people lost, not 1, 2 lakhs of people lost their complete savings. Big amounts they lost. So actually, PMC is not a bank; it's a cooperative sector. When we study at that time, cooperative sector is never explained as bank. However, that some terminology to help the small entrepreneurship, they were given as a bank. So people invested and lost. That should not happen. And deposits in banks, you have to always think of nationalized bank to deposit it, and post office. Deposit it in your name, in your husband name, in your child name, not others' name. Others will not give back. Huh? Okay. And investment companies, some of the companies, they pay very good returns. Now, I recently, one person for MetLife called me and told, if you invest 100,000, after 2 years, they can return 135 to 150,000. I have asked so many questions and understood that they are investing in shares in a bigger value. The big value, when you are investing, you can make profit, because the way of segregating some portion for the customer, some portion in case keeping in mind the losses, profits, that way they do. That will such companies, if you get invested, that's good thing. And insurance companies also sometimes they go for bonds. Now one of the bonds, Bharat bonds, something I think government is introducing, that is coming, that we people can go for. Or in the year 99, no, not 90, 99, SBI introduced bonds. What rate they introduced? 14% for 10 years. That's a big interest rate they gave. And in the year 2013, government introduced bonds for oil companies. They gave 10% interest rate they gave. It is a very good interest rate. Such bonds, any companies coming out, you can go for that. And deposits, monthly small deposits regularly in banks. What you have to do is monthly, some amount regularly, cumulative deposit, you send it to the bank and tell them to every time make a deposit. And once in a year or once in 2 years, make it a big deposit. That way you can save money. Then vehicles. Now, vehicles like cars, vans, auto rickshaws, buy in your name and lease it out to Uber, Ola, Amazon, DMart, and such companies. Or your known people, but they should give the money regularly. Not that they will run away with your vehicle and your money. That should not happen. So that way, definitely you can have some passive income. You may not be knowing, cars, vans, auto rickshaws, now so many people, they rent it out to Uber and Ola, Amazon and DMart. That way people are earning. Or somebody is working for Amazon, DMart or Ola, Uber. What they do, they take the car from you on lease, then they give service to respective companies. So that way you can earn money in a better way. And annuities and pensions. Now, some of the insurance schemes, always go, when we are going for the insurance schemes, one thing you will have to understand that you have to see what is the administrative charges they are going to take year after year. That part you have to understand. If it is too high, better not go for. If it is a little marginal, then you can go for that. In that, you have to go for annuities and pensions. Annuities in the sense, after a certain period, every month you should get some amount. Every month you should get. There are a lot of insurance companies are there. You will get monthly annuities and pensions, or pensions you have to get. Pensions also, you should make sure that pension you should get, and after you, your husband, your spouse should get. Then after your spouse, you should get a lump sum amount for your kids. See how 3 people are going to get. That way, such insurance companies are there. You can go for that. One of the insurance company I have found good is Kotak Mahindra. That is one of the thing I observed. Very nice. Even SBI is there. Alliance Insurance I have seen here. They have a good this one. But however, this one, what is that called? The administrative charge is very high from so Alliance Insurance is very high, and SBI also very high. Even LIC is also very high. And another thing you will have to do, LIC or such insurance companies brings educational insurance. Insurance, you can make insurance for your child. When now child is 6 years old or the moment child born, you make an insurance in your name for the child, you keep it. That by 18 years time, that amount becomes big, and that can be used for your child's education as a futuristic. That will fetch very good. And investment in a business, be a silent partner to take yearly profit. This can be done in a better, very good manner. Earlier Uber and one more company, they were doing like that. Today, Uber and that company, they are the biggest. This one, Uber and Lyft. They are in the share market. They are the biggest big companies, Uber and Lyft. But originally, they started the business like they are taking money from friends and public. They are asking friends to invest, and that way they started. So becoming a silent partner, and you can earn yearly profit, that is possible. And sell and book online. Online, you can, while writing a blog, and people like Tina Satish, they're all writers, good writers, maybe Hashim Ali, they're all good writers. They have to writing a blog and monetizing. it is a good passive income idea. Writing a book or ebook is an even better example of passive income, as you only need to write it once, then contact Amazon or DMAT. The Amazon started, taking publishing and all that. They started taking, so you can go for that. You can earn money here. And writing songs and release album in YouTube. This is one of the things is possible. Recently, I released one of the album here for my co-brother. I arranged the people and all that. I did that. In that, what happens, YouTube, when you do that, you get over a period, you get definitely fetch good money from that. And licensing music. And licensing, you can license and earn a royalty of your music when someone chooses to use it. Music is often used for YouTube's videos, commercials, and more. And with the amount of YouTube videos and podcasts that are being created, there is more demand than even for music, and people are willing to pay for it. That is possible. The key way to do is to get your music in a library that people can search. Check out for the guide on how to license your music. That is possible. And selling stock photos. You have a lot of photos. You have camera. You take a lot of photos. That also, you can use it in a. You can put into the stock areas. Do you ever want the some of the favorite websites, blogs, and sometimes your magazines get their photos. Some of the magazines, they require some photos. They will contact you and they will pay for it. Such things are possible. If you Google, a lot of information available on this. Yeah, let us move on to the next segment. That is evaluation. Education session on evaluation. Now we have with us the novice speaker, a winner in all categories several times, and a past Area 32 director. He is, I think he has already achieved 3rd DTM, or he's going to achieve 3rd DTM. That is the greatness of DTM Hashim Halim. He is one of the greatest speaker. And please put your hands together to welcome DTM Hashim Halim. DTM Hashim Halim, the stage is yours for the education session.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Raghu. You've set the bar really high. I'm afraid whether I'm going to be tall enough to reach that bar or going to fall drastically short of it, but I'm going to give it a try. So here we go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this session on evaluation. Now, first of all, let me ask a question just to set the scene. Every week for the meeting, when the VP Education puts it out on your WhatsApp group, I need evaluators for the next meeting. How many people switch off that WhatsApp and go on to the next conversation? Or does anybody raise their hand and say, yeah, I'm going to take up that evaluation role? Yeah, I can see more nods were there when I said that you're going to skip that WhatsApp, just hide away from that group for a while, for a few days, until some poor soul jumps in and has already sacrificed himself or herself. Yeah, that's what usually happens. But I hope that's not what's going to happen after today's session. I'm going to give you my version of what evaluation is. I'm going to break it down into the easy peasy way of doing a good evaluation. The first thing I want to tell all of you is Toastmasters does not restrict evaluation to anybody, right? In your first set of projects itself, in your second project, actually in the pathways itself, you have an evaluation, which basically means there is no prior criteria for you becoming an evaluator. Anybody can evaluate, right? That's it. How does your evaluation get better? Well, the more you understand speeches, the more you learn about speeches, obviously the better you get at the feedback that you're going to give. Because in the end, that's what an evaluation is. It's feedback you're giving to a speaker, and your aim is to help that speaker improve. That's it, nothing else. All right? So the more you understand speeches, the more you get better at the techniques of evaluation. Obviously, the better evaluator you're going to become. Now, for today's session, I'd like to focus a bit on how you would prepare for the evaluation contest, how you would prepare for it, what you would do during the contest, and how you will present your winning evaluation for the contest, right? So allow me to share my screen. Yeah, it works. I usually get a few seconds there when I have to ask the Zoom master to allow me to share, but it's working already. Right, okay, here we are. So evaluation. As any good evaluation, or rather any good education session should start, I'm going to start with the Judges Ballot. This is typically, in a nutshell, what the Judges Ballot looks like, right? So you have 4 boxes over there, as you can see. 40% is your analytical quality, how well you have analyzed the speech. What were the positives that you found? What are the negatives that you found? What did you identify? Techniques that are used in the speech? What type of speech was it? All of this forms your analytical quality. So the judges have to watch out for how well you have analyzed the speech. 30% is for your recommendations, right? 15% is for the technique. What do I mean by technique? The idea is to help that speaker come back and perform better. Not hear your evaluation, run away, and never come to Toastmasters again. That's not going to make you a very popular evaluator. Picture this. You went to a club, you heard the person give the speech, and you went up and said, "What a speech! What a speech! What was that speech?" You think that speaker is ever going to come back again? Definitely not. Moreover, you think that club will ever invite you again? I seriously doubt it. So technique is important. You want to be you want to give recommendations, of course. You want to be a little critical, but the idea should be to help that speaker move forward. So you do want to be show some sympathy, show some empathy, show some understanding, and yet be motivating, right? So technique. The last and foremost important bit that we conveniently skip in every club evaluation we do, and remember it only at the time of the contest, is the summary. In the contest, you are required to give a summary. As you can see, it accounts for 15 marks. So if you skip it, you lose 15 marks there and there, right? So just add, summary does not have to be the longest summary in the world. This is not a PhD thesis. As you know, this is a 3-minute evaluation. So summary can just be 2 sentences or 1 sentence for that matter. These were the positives. These were the areas of improvement. That's enough. In summary, this is what I observed. This is what I suggest. That should be enough. It doesn't have to be extensively long or huge. Fine. Summary has to be there. Remember the structure, because the reason is, I'm going to ask all of you a simple question, and anybody who knows can just unmute themselves and shout out the answer. What are the 3 parts of a typical evaluation? Anybody who knows can just unmute and shout it out. You've all seen evaluations before. We have an evaluator today who's going to be giving an evaluation as well. So what are the 3 parts of a typical evaluation? I see Blind's cross-questioning himself. Tina's reaching out for the mouse, but she's wondering, where should I click or not? Will it be right or wrong? Is he going to jump all over my answer? No, I'm not going to.
Maybe I don't know if like what if as an evaluator, what I like, what could be better, and
yeah, you're absolutely right. And summary, you're absolutely right. So what was your what did you observe, and what were your recommendations, and what is the summary? That's absolutely right. That's what a typical evaluation entails. Now, one thing what I want to add is this is specifically for your contest. So we need to be a little flashy as well. And you know one basic thing, an evaluation is a speech. And what do we know about speeches? Every speech has opening, body, and conclusion. So you keep the opening away, you keep the conclusion away. The body is what you just spoke about. You have what you observed, that's your analysis of it. You have your recommendations, and you have your summary. This is the body. One opening statement at the beginning and a bang on closing statement at the end, and you have your contest evaluation, right? So try to remember this structure. This is what you want to employ when you go for your contest evaluation. Now, what we're going to look at is something known as the 3 Ps of evaluation. No, you're not going to find this anywhere. This is just a figment of my imagination. But 3 Ps that are going to set you apart when you take part in your next evaluation contest. Now, for those who have not taken part or witnessed an evaluation contest, how it happens is there is a test speaker who comes and presents a 7-minute speech. All the evaluators are present in the room and are making notes while the speech is going on. Once the speech is over, you're moved to a breakout room in the case of online meetings, or a physical separate soundproof room somewhere else, and you're called and you're given 5 minutes to prepare your notes over there, right? Once the 5 minutes are up, all your papers are collected, and you are called one by one based on the draw of lots and the sequence you have drawn. You are called on one by one to present your evaluation. Remember, all evaluators are evaluating the same speech, and they cannot hear the other evaluator speak, right? So one by one, you're called. This is how a typical evaluation happens. So now let's look at the 3 P's of evaluation. So they are preparation, presentation, and packaging. I'm going to cover these 3 parts one by one. So the first part is preparation. So while the speech is going on, you have some time with yourself to prepare your observations on that speech. And after that, you have 5 minutes to prepare your notes in the segregated breakout room. Right. So at this point of time, what should you observe about the speech? The idea is to observe every single thing that happens from the moment the speaker comes up onto the stage till the moment the speaker leaves the stage. Every single thing that happens is there for you to observe, right? So you can start taking your notes. Was the speaker confident when they came up, when they shook hands with the contest chair? How confident were they? Were they shy, shivering, whatever? Did they stumble at the beginning? Were they a total mess when they started? Did they settle down and quickly? Every single thing that happens is there for you to observe. Things that you would ideally look out for. Just to make it simple. Things that you would ideally look out for is, what was the message of the speech? Were there stories in the speech? Were there characters? Were there emotions, voice, etc.? Did they use the stage effectively? They have props. All of these things can be observed. Now, there are a few things that could make this easier for you. You could use some templates that are available. I wouldn't recommend it, but however you can. COD template means your content, your organization, and the delivery. So what was the core content? Or how well was it organized? What were the good points or points of improvement in the delivery? Or you could go with I saw, I heard, I felt. Everything that you see there, what did you hear? Voice modulation, rhetoric devices, good impactful words, foundation phrases. I heard all of these. I felt. What were the emotions that were there? How did it make you feel? You can use this. Or you could just stick to your basics, go one by one through every single thing that you've learned. How do you get better at this? You observe more speeches, obviously. Make notes. My suggestion always is, any meeting you go to, irrespective of whether you're the designated evaluator or not, you can still make notes on that speech. Nobody's stopping you. And then you can compare your notes with what the evaluator presents. So you see how good you are, or there could be some points that you missed out, which you will hear from the evaluator, and next time you will remember it. So any meeting you go to, just practice taking notes, irrespective of whether you're the evaluator or not. This is how you tend to observe more. And as you see, you will see that over a period of time, you will start observing more and more things. Content, how the voice was used, whether there was humor in there, whether there were facial expressions, emotions, characters were brought to life, positioned properly. All of these things play a factor. Now, if you're online, obviously you have things like lighting. As you can see, my lighting is not that good. Fair enough, it happens sometimes. But watch out for these kind of things as well. Whether you're moving to and fro from the camera. Obviously, the speaker should be standing, which also I'm not doing. So yeah, a couple of things for improvement already. Having said that, make all these notes, keep it ready. Now remember, if you're in a contest or in a club meeting, while you're taking the notes, nothing is supposed to distract you, because that 7 minutes that the speaker is on stage is not going to get repeated. You don't have a video to play it forward and check back again. Observe and keep your attention or focus on the speaker during that time. That means you're going to have to keep that phone away. No WhatsApp messages, no shopping list from your spouse, no chatting with the cute new guest who just walked into. She'll have to wait, or he'll have to wait until the speech is over. Yeah, I know it's difficult at times, but bear with me here. So those 7 minutes are meant only for the speaker. One, if it's a meeting, they've worked really hard to prepare that speech and come, so they deserve your attention. If you're the designated evaluator. Contest, if you don't observe, somebody else is observing, they're going to get more marks than you, and you don't want that. So focus, focus, and focus. Right? So this is the preparation time. Now, once you're in the breakout room or the segregated room, you have 5 minutes to prepare your notes properly. What I would suggest during this time is to structure your paper into observations, areas of improvement, right? And as a word, just write the word summary at the bottom so that you remember to do that when you go up on stage. Everyone tends to get carried away and forget it, but remember, just write down the word summary so you'll remember to summarize. Observations, I would say stick to maybe 5 points. You only have 3 minutes and you have to break out that time such that you're able to do all of these things, right? So my suggestion would be how to use the lights to your advantage. By the time you see the green light, you should have finished your analysis and started out with your recommendations. In case you're still with the observations or plus points and you see the green light, stop, start the recommendations then itself. You've already lost a bit of time. You need to hurry up now, right? So before the green, you want to have started your recommendations. By the time you see the amber light, you want to finish your recommendations and start out with your summary because you want to be able to end properly, right? So use the lights to your advantage. When you are preparing your notes, I would say 5 points for your analysis, 5 to 6 points, and 2 recommendations or maximum 3, not more. When you give your recommendations, obviously you want to explain why you think so or how you would have done it. So you want to spend some time there, right? So 2 recommendations. I'll go more into what to select when I go into the presentation part of it. So 5 and 2 would be ideal. 6 and 3 is also fine, but 5 and 2 is ideal. And then go summarize, close out your speech. Let's look at the next part, which is the presentation. Now, what I mean by presentation is you've got your notes down now, you're ready to come up on stage and present your speech, right? So like I said, first is organize and prioritize. So you've observed 20 things, but you don't have time to do all of this. So you're going to select the 5 most impactful ones. I would suggest that you club things together. And so, for example, if you wanted to say the vocal variety was excellent, the body language was excellent, facial expressions were excellent, I would say you displayed your emotions really well with your use of your body, your facial, and your vocals. In one sentence, you covered 3 points, right? So you put it all out there. When you say something like your vocal variety was good, it doesn't add any value unless you say what it was about the vocal variety that you liked. Okay, at that position where you assume the grandmother's voice, I thought that was excellent. I could clearly visualize the grandmother. So explain why you think a certain thing is good. Similarly, when you're giving recommendations, explain what you would have done to make it better. Oh, at that point, I thought you could have assumed the voice of the grandmother by making it a little low, maybe bending your back to show a feeble old woman. That would have made that character come to life, right? So explain why, explain what you would have done to make it better. Give the example so that the speaker will definitely benefit from it then and there itself. See, the idea, remember, is not that the speaker comes back 3 months later and then he's able to give a better speech. The idea is after hearing your evaluation, if the speaker repeats his speech then itself with your observations, with your recommendations, it would be better. So don't say you are not visible on stage, so go to the gym and build your body and come back. No, that's not going to work. You want them to improve that itself, right? So that's what the idea is. When you present, remember this is a speech, so you want to start and finish positively. The more energy you bring, obviously, the more you're endearing yourself to the crowd and by default the judges as well. So you need to start and finish positively. One question that I always want to ask, and which I always ask for every education session I do, is remember I told at the beginning that it's a speech and you have an opening and a closing. Why do you need a bang on closing for an evaluation speech? Shouldn't your points just be enough? Why do you need to end emphatically? Can anyone throw out some ideas?
It's more impactful, like that stays in the mind.
It stays in the mind. Very, very true. So the last sentence you say does stay in the mind. Anything else? What happens after you finish your speech? People start clapping, of course, which is good. So if you say something good, people start clapping. That's very good. But more importantly, in terms of a contest, the thing that happens after you say your last word is the judges start marking you. So if you end on a high, the judges are going to mark you from there. If you end on a low, The judges are going to mark you from there. So the power or the energy that you bring at the end could be the difference between a 60 and a 70. So you always, by default, want to end with a bang. So plan what is going to be that last sentence you're going to make. It could be a summary of your whole evaluation. It could be something that you think sticks out from that speech. It could be the summary of the message itself that you understood in your own words, whatever it is. Even 5-6 words is enough. It doesn't have to be very long, but something impactful right at the end that ends with a bang. Similarly, at the beginning, you have to remember one thing. Everyone's evaluating the same speech. The judges have heard this again and again and again, and then you're coming up with nothing new. You want to start with something different, something positive, something impactful that grabs people's attention. Otherwise, they're going to go back to that WhatsApp group, which is very important nowadays, by the way. And, it could be about anything. So you want to have people with you at the beginning. So it's important to have that impactful opening, bang on closing. Third point, be honest, whatever it is. Don't be brutally honest, just be truthfully honest. I know it's a oxymoron, truthfully honest. Well, anyway, repetitive words. Be honest, because the idea is that you want to help that speaker improve. Be, empathetic, be kind, be motivating, but be honest. So you need to have those observations of your recommendations that you have. Generally, what I have observed is that you win or lose an evaluation on your recommendations. So select 2 recommendations, I would say. And my suggestion to you would be pick one on content, pick one on delivery, right? So on content, you could say the stories that were there, or maybe the person forgot to talk about a call to action. These are all part of the content. In terms of delivery, you could pick out some area where the display of emotion was lesser, or vocal variety could have enhanced that situation, etc. So pick one on delivery, pick one on content. This is usually the best way to go for your recommendations. Give examples, like I said, and explain how you would have done it. Practice timing yourselves. This you can do by, practicing actually for an evaluation contest. I'll give you a simple way you can practice for a contest. On YouTube, you will find lots of videos of contests. What I would suggest is you listen to the test speech, make your notes just like the other competitors, then you see what you are presenting against what the others have observed on the same speech. This helps you get better at preparing your notes, summarizing and selecting your points. So if you've selected what the winners of that contest, etc., are doing, obviously you're on the right track. If there's something you missed out, that's an area of improvement. So practice that, and don't shy away from taking up evaluation roles at your club. That is your best place to practice. You have the timer as the green that I can see, and this gives you the opportunity to present, more and practice your presentation skills. So definitely take up the roles next time your VP Ed calls for evaluators. Raise your hand. All right, so let's move on very quickly to the last and most distinctive part, which I feel could be the difference between a win and a not winning at the contest, and that's your packaging. I already touched upon starting different, because it's the same speech that is being evaluated by every evaluator. If you bring up something new that grabs people's attentions right at the beginning, so start different, be innovative in your approach, try something, try to pick up something from that speech. A good technique for that is, if you have any particular theme in that speech, try to pick up words that relate to that. So for example, if Anshuman was giving the test speech and he spoke about his younger days when he was a football player in the school club and how that big football match was there, you try and use terms related to football. So that was a scoring shot. Your vocal variety at that point, that was a definite scoring shot. Oh, I could see the way that you were transitioning from one idea to the other. It was just like the seamless passing done by Spain's football team. Or, from after the first half, now I'm going to move on to the second half, where I'm going to discuss recommendations. That was a goal. Oh, that was a penalty shootout. Use terms related to that particular thing that would, mix it up a little bit. So this was just an example of football. It's not always going to be football, right? So pick up something from that speech and use terms related to that. That could help you package your evaluation in a different way. Be specific with your suggestions. Don't be general. right? So if you're going to talk about vocal variety, be specific. Which area, what would you have done differently? How that would make that particular moment come to life. So be very specific, use specific examples. Don't just make general statements. That does not help anyone, right? Try and infuse humor if you can. I know evaluation is boring as it is, but still try to be, when we say humor, you don't have to crack in jokes in there. You don't have to put in any jokes, but it could just making any moment lighter. So for example, if there was a scene of, somebody celebrating, of maybe Shobha giving her speech where she celebrated her birthday with her friends, you could say, oh, when I saw that, I could clearly visualize the screen, the scene of you having the chocolate cake with your friends. I could feel that chocolate dripping down my cheek. Oh, I was there. I was the one right at the back. Just make that moment light, put yourself into it, and make that moment entertaining. And that could set you apart in terms of your evaluation, because everyone else's could be boring. Yours could be the one that is more entertaining and stands out. Try to use, stuff like the theme of the meeting. If you're in a club meeting, the location that you are, and that would add a little bit more of innovativeness to your particular evaluation speech. For example, if it is held at Dubai Public Library, so you could try and bring that into your thing. In this place of knowledge, I want to shed some knowledge about what I understood from your speech. All right. So something like that, anything that would help you make, your speech a little bit more innovative. I remember an area contest, a division contest once. It was held in, I think, Springdale School, and I was giving the speech. I said, okay, there was a spring in your step here at Springdale's today, and you brought this to life. It was just something, from that moment that brought him there. When you talk about observations, sometimes what you observe could be something very simple, but yet it could be very different. At this contest, there was this test speaker, this young lady who had, long hair, and she had left it unkept, right? So it was bouncing around when she was making her movements, and she was quite, using the space on the stage very well. But what happens is, in between, she would have to keep doing this because the hair would come in front of her face. I suggested to her that, as a suggestion, that maybe you could just use a clip and keep it so that your hair wouldn't disturb you, so that we get to see more of your, facial expressions and your action. Apparently, nobody else had said that because they thought it was something very trivial, but it was something different. And that gives you, more points, or, makes it clear to the judges that your observation skills are quite good. So that's something you could think of, observe clearly what is happening, everything that happens there, and try to be a little different when you present your speech. All right, so very quickly, since we are nearing the end of it, how do you get better at this? Okay, so at times you come across speeches where you feel, okay, there's absolutely nothing to suggest. I can't do anything with this speech. Remember one thing, if you are able to give recommendations, they're not going to give you a Nobel Prize at the end of your speech. No. And no university is going to come and give you a PhD. This is not an exam. You're only giving your opinion. And for sure, if you are from my part of the world, you have an opinion on everything. Probably 2 opinions on the same thing, right? So all they're asking you to do is give your opinion on it. So you can definitely suggest what you would have done. That doesn't mean what they've done is not good. It could just mean that you would have done it differently. That's all. So watch out for the speech. A lot of times, what you may not, although you may be overwhelmed by their presentation, by their style of talking, by the way they use their voice, there could be some basics that I missed out. Many speeches don't tie the intro and the closing. Many don't have one specific message. They have more than one message. Many people have very good messages, but they don't tell you how to implement it or talk about their change. Watch out for pauses. Did they have humor somewhere? Could the characters have been explained better or developed more? Could they have been given a voice? Over all the parts of the stage used? So there are many things that you can observe. Just watch out and make sure that you don't miss out on things. How do you improve? Watch other evaluators. Like I said, even if you're not the designated evaluator, you make notes, compare yourself against evaluators. When you do give your speech, ask for feedback from your mentors, from the seniors in the club, anybody else who's there. Ask them, how was my evaluation? Tell them in advance that please observe my evaluation, give me some suggestions. When you VP Ed, ask for evaluators, don't shy away, raise your hand, Take it up. Evaluation is something that will definitely help you get better, not only as an evaluator, but also as a speaker, right? Because what you observe and learn and suggest, you yourself will implement. Invite Hashim for dinner. Yeah, that shouldn't be there. I do lunch as well. That's also fine. Or if you want a coach, that could be my passive income, like Toastmaster Raghu was suggesting. So we can work that out. Don't worry about it. All right. Never discourage a speaker. You are meant to motivate. Your success is when they come back and deliver their speech better. And somewhere in the back of their mind, they will thank you for it. So never discourage a speaker. Now, in case this was a boring session and you've forgotten everything that I've told you, remember this one slide. Aim not to win, but to try and help make a better speaker. And when you do that, automatically you become a better evaluator. With this, let me end my session. If we have any questions, I can take those now, but it's a red already. So perhaps you could just put it on the chat or we can connect later. So I hope these tips will help you become a better evaluator and perform well at this year's evaluation speech contest at Newstart. So wishing you all the best. Back to the TMOD Toastmaster room.
No, Hashim, if you want to take the question and answers, you can take 5 minutes, no issues.
Perfect. Lovely. So if you have any questions, I'm here. I can answer those to the best that I can think of.
One thing, no, these days with the pathways, no, they're all objective-based evaluation. No?
Can you repeat that, Shubha? Sorry.
Yeah. In the pathways, no, whatever evaluation we're doing, it's all object, like, no, where we just have to see whether they meet the objective or not. So how will we put this particular strategy there? I don't know.
See, in your project speeches, obviously there is a set objective for that particular speech. Now, what I would suggest always is that you cover the objective in your first few points itself. Cover the objectives, then go into the general ones. See, the objectives would help that speaker, particularly with that project. However, your general observations, which will help them overall in your general speeches. Plus, that would help you in getting better at evaluations as well. So I would say cover the objectives in the first or 2 sentences and then go on with your general observations. When you give recommendations, see if they have missed out on the objective itself, then for sure one of your recommendations has to be on the objective. But at least you can use the other 2, one for content and one for delivery, and that would help you structure it. I would always suggest that even in your club evaluations, include the summary, because that keeps you prepared for the contest, that you have to have that summary at the end. But of course, I mean, you can go with what adds more value in your club, but remember in the contest that you need to add the summary. Yeah. Yeah, I think we don't have any more questions. Either everyone understood it was so clear, or nobody understood a thing. So if it's the latter, feel free to reach out to me whenever you need. I think my WhatsApp number would be there, so you can reach out to me. So let's hand it back to Toastmaster Raghu and some more passive income ideas.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Hashim. This was a wonderful session. Thank you so much. Okay, now let us move on to the next segment, that is the table topic segment. Me and our table topic master, Toastmaster Nishta. She is one of the investor in deposits and mutual funds. That is good to hear. After Anshuman, I'm hearing something she is doing that. That's very great. Future will be that very bright. Okay, that's one thing. And another thing, may I request Toastmaster Nishta to take over table topic master? Stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone had a great long weekend and are looking forward to the year-end break. So, and enjoying our last few Fridays off as well. So I will briefly explain my role as a topic master, or is everyone a Toastmaster member? Then I don't need to do that. Okay, I'll just briefly talk about it and then I'll move on. So the purpose of the topic master is to facilitate table topics where guests and members will have the opportunity to practice impromptu speaking. So I will introduce a topic and call on speakers who will be given 2 minutes to speak on the subject. I request the timer to just please explain the timing rules for the table topics.
Yes, green is 1 minute, yellow is 1.5 minutes, and red is 1 minute 37. I mean, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Right? All right. Thank you. So in our last meeting, we had an excellent education session from Toastmaster Asha, and I hope we can utilize some of her techniques today. Although today is going to be a bit different. So let's begin. Today, I will provide the speakers with an interesting opening line to a story, and they have to continue the story once I finish. So you can make it as imaginative, as surprising, or relatable as you feel. I believe our table topic sessions are one of the few places where we can let our creative juices flow without having to be too serious. So let's just make this fun. Would anybody like to volunteer to go first? Nobody? Then I'll just pick.
All
right.
I'm sorry, Nishta, you can call me if it's okay. Like
yeah, sure. All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Shobha. Okay, so the opening line for your story is, I had the same dream every night and it was scaring me. I had the same dream every night and it was scaring me.
I had the same dream every night. It was scaring me.
And it was scary. Yes.
Yeah, it was 17th of October, should I say, 2017, when I walked into that hall, Dubai Public Library, like as DTM Hashim said, a place of knowledge, where I went to gain more knowledge. Okay, when I stepped there, and the table topic master, when that person, Adiva, when she went up to the stage, the first person she called to speak was me. I went up there on the stage, and the moment she gave me that topic, okay, I thought I would be able to attempt, but I just went blank, totally blank. And all the eyes were staring at me, and I didn't know what to do exactly. And I was just watching at the timer. I repeated the topic twice. I went on staring at the timer. It was not turning green. And I really had to say, okay, maybe next time I'll try it to give me one more chance. And I went back and sat there, but it was definitely a dream. And this particular thing kept on coming back to me whenever I went to sleep. Whenever there was a Toastmaster meeting, this will again come. And yesterday night also I had the same dream. And I always get scared because of this particular dream. Okay, so whenever I get a chance to face this fear, what I do is, whenever any table topic master comes, I try to volunteer so that I can get over this fear. Oh, so that's the main reason, but still I'm not able to do that. Okay, so today is Wednesday. Yesterday I had this dream. Maybe next meeting we'll be having it on Sunday. So Saturday I'm again going to have the same dream. And I'll also again make sure that I'll be one of the speakers there. Over to you.
That was excellent, Toastmaster Shobha. I think it was pretty much on point to the table topics as well as the storyline. So that was really great. All right. So anybody else would like to volunteer, or should I just pick? Okay, let me just ask out names and we can see how this goes. Toastmaster Tina, would you like to try?
Sure, Toastmaster Nishta.
All right. So the opening line for your story is, she opened the letter and it said she had won $100,000. She opened the letter and it said she had won $100,000. Over to you.
She opened the letter and she learned that she had won $100,000. Please, the point to be noted here is it's not dirhams, it's not rupees, it's dollars. So I'm going to take that I am in America right now and I have won this much amount of dollars. and I can already visualize the stars and the moons and the fireworks that's just going around my head, because I am just visualizing my route, my travel route, going to Las Vegas, hitting those casinos, making sure I double the amount that I've already got, or probably lose out on that. And then probably I'll have to come back to Toastmaster Raghu again and find out exactly how to reinvest this money into, you know, these passive income and so forth. And then once I've moved out from Las Vegas, I'm going to Florida, I'm going to Disneyland, going to go on every single ride that is over there and relive my childhood dreams through this journey that I'm going through. And then once I have gone out of Disneyland, I'm going to take the East Coast line and go see with the wind just going, driving through my hair through with a hatchback car wherein I've got the top down and I'm just driving down and seeing the sea beside my side. And probably just, you know, just throwing out the cash into whatever kind of things I want. Maybe go for a little shopping, go buy some goods, and then come back. And what do you know? It was all a dream. I'm awake. I'm back in my flat in Dubai. And I'm up. I have to make tea for my husband, make my lunch boxes for my kids. I'm awake. Unfortunately, it was all a dream. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Nishta.
Wow, that was very good, Toastmaster Tina. I see a lot of people are dreaming some scary dreams and some good dreams now. So moving on, Toastmaster Blind, I know you're evaluating. Would you like to try a table topic?
Sure, Toastmaster Nishita is Nishta, sorry.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so the opening line for your story. It all started when I accidentally picked up the wrong suitcase at the airport. It all started when I accidentally picked up the wrong suitcase at the airport. Over to you.
It all started when I accidentally picked up the wrong suitcase at the airport, right? Well, that's exactly how it started. And my troubles just started to exponentially increase from then on. I started getting threatening calls. Even before I reached home and opened the suitcase, I was informed that even if you touch the suitcase, you will find your dead body in pieces, scattered all over, somewhere in a foreign land. And that gave me nightmares. I couldn't sleep from the moment I reached home. I was all shaken. I was sweating and completely drenched. And I couldn't even explain what's happening to my family. And they were so worried. What's going on? Then finally, I woke up and I realized it was a dream. Over to you, Toastmaster Nishta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Blind. I think that was actually quite imaginative, getting to that point after picking up the wrong suitcase. All right, so moving on. DTM Hashi, would you like to go for one?
That is the last one.
Okay, I guess he's not there. Okay, I want to ask the timer, would he like to attempt one topic?
Yeah, great. That's a good thing.
Yes,
Timer?
sure.
Okay. So the opening line to your story, would anybody else be timing the timer since he will be speaking? Is it possible?
I can time my.
Okay, all right, great. So the topic for you is opening line, sorry. I suddenly found out that I was here to a throne. I suddenly found out that I was here to a throne. Go on.
So about 2 years ago, I got to know that I was a king to a country called Dubai. And that's when, and when I got to know, a city called Dubai. And I was really excited to get that news. And then I was thinking about all the great developments that I can do to the city of maybe building new buildings and providing healthcare and education to everyone. And I was also thinking about how we can economically make Dubai a better city. And I was also thinking about how Dubai can be a world leader in a lot of industries and fields. Thank you, Odin.
Thank you, Gavel Ayush, for that wonderful attempt. Toastmaster Raghu, do we have time for one more?
No, we will close it because we will find it difficult then.
All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And over to you, Toastmaster Raghu.
No, you take the timers report, all those things you complete it.
Oh, yeah.
Polling
Okay.
also you complete it.
Okay, all right. Timer, can we please have the report for the table topic speakers?
Yes. Toastmaster Shobha spoke for 1 minute 47 seconds. Toastmaster Tina spoke for 1 minute 57 seconds. Toastmaster Blaine spoke for 1 minute 23 seconds. And I spoke for 1 minute 3 seconds.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Gavel Ayush. So everyone has the polling available on their screens now. Please go ahead and vote for the best table topic speaker. And we can continue on the side. Over to you, Toastmaster Raghu.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Nishita. Very well handled. Thank you so much. And now let us move on to the general evaluation. We have with us to handle this Toastmaster Tina. She says regarding generating passive income as a homemaker, she plan out everything, meals, expenses, and groceries so that she can avoid wastage and maintain utilization of the resources. That is what I do always, not my wife. Okay. Wife is away from me. And that is a good thing. And Toastmaster Tina, please, stage is yours. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghu, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening once again to each and every one of you. We are in a very exciting area of our meeting, that is the evaluation part, because as Toastmaster DTM Hashim has already said, I mean, to be a better speaker, we have to become a better evaluator. And which is why the segment is so, imperative to each and every one of us. So being the general evaluator, it is my duty to actually, introduce each one of the persons who is there in this evaluation segment. Without much flair and flourish, keeping our time constraints, I will go on to the first segment immediately. First one we'll be hearing from our evaluator who is evaluating our speaker for today, that is Toastmaster Rajlakshmi. Our first evaluator is Toastmaster Blaine. He's an entrepreneur managing a software development company called ECD Infotech, and he has been a Toastmaster for the past 3 years and is currently serving as the president of Spice Toastmasters Club. Over to you, Toastmaster Blaine.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tina. Well, I'd like to quote Donald McGavin, who said, leadership is action and not position. Distinguished and my dear Toastmasters, this is the message that we got to take with us today from our speaker, Toastmaster Rajlakshmi. Well, congratulations, Toastmaster Rajlakshmi, and thank you for sharing such valuable insights on the qualities and how true leaders and effective leadership can promote and success and growth in others. You started your speech with a question. How many of you believe that leaders are born, and how many of you believe that leaders are made? Which I believe is an excellent way to engage the audience and have your full attention. And one of the things that I liked the most about your speech was your personal story that you shared with us today with the audience when you were working in finance. Your personal style was coaching and how you trained people. However, if you could have used imagery like showing some props or printouts of some fake currency notes and maybe the genuine currency notes, I'm sure that would have helped us identify. I mean, you would have shown us how to identify these, with examples. I'm sure that would have created an impact with the audience. Secondly, I also like the way you used the great example of Apple Store, of the company Apple, and Steve Jobs in particular, and how his leadership style led to his downfall, and then again, how he came back and adapted a different style. So I think that was brilliant and well done with your narrative and explaining all about the different leadership styles. Your body language was awesome and excellent because you are directly looking at the camera, and your emotions also were gelled well with your speech. There's one recommendation that I would like to make, and that is the speed or the tone of your voice. If you could bring in some variations, like saying, Steve Jobs, he started the company, but ultimately he had to go down. And then he came back again and he built an empire. That kind of a tone of a way would have brought a much more impact and on the speech. So leaving to summarize, you had a great story to tell us. You had a great speech, and with a few recommendations like using props will definitely make your speech better in the future. And I wish you all the best. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Tina.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Blaine. Next, we have the Grammarian Report, and that will be read by Toastmaster Shobha. So I know Toastmaster Shobha from a long time. I think ever since I first became a Toastmaster, I know her. And she told me that she started her journey as a Toastmaster in the year 2017. And then she took a break of 2 years and came back in 2019. And I asked her, I mean, is there any kind of accolades or something that you want me to present? And she's like, is it really needed? And that is the kind of person I know she is, and that is the kind of person which makes her such a good coach, such a good mentor, the humility and her willingness to teach and to guide us at every step of the way. And so it is my honor that, I have someone like, a Toastmaster Shobha that I can, fall back on for any kind of support and help and learning. So with the Grammarian Report, we have Toastmaster Shobha.
Thank you so much, Tina, for that wonderful introduction. I said, you know what, Anshuman, if you call her often, I'll take up more roles then. Okay. Good evening to all of you. See, when I have taken up a grammarian role, I always, there's a particular thing which I would like to share. You have heard this before, maybe about a giant panda. Have you heard this? A panda walks into a cafe, it orders food, and then when the waiter comes and asks for the bill, what it does is it takes out a gun out and it starts shooting, and just leaves the bar, the restaurant, sorry. And the waiter runs me and asks, what is this? He said, you don't know who I am? So he throws a very badly punctuated dictionary at the waiter and says, go and check the word panda there. So it says a giant bear-like animal from China, which eats, shoots, and leaves. So fortunately, we are not pandas. We know our English better, I feel. And the grammar, we all know that it's a tool basically. It's a tool through which we use it to properly organize our thoughts, and either we can express that verbally or in written, whichever way. And it is the best friend to a language, because it puts sense to all the languages. Without it, nothing makes sense basically. And as a grammarian, as I had said before, my duty is to listen carefully today, and then also highlight all the good usages and also point out some of the things which we could have done better. So we had, I have written down many things. I don't know whether I'll be able to cover all of them in this short span. I'll start from the beginning. There are many phrases, adjectives, words which I use, which I really liked. So I'm going to just list out all of them. Okay, right from the starting, festive season around the corner in full swing. And the way I also like the way the role plays were introduced, many of the like Anshuman and also by the TMOD. Champion speaker, star of today's meeting, veteran Toastmaster, charming and budding Toastmaster and all. And then quite technical financial terms I learned today because of TMOD session, passive income, smart investment, called up shares, which I don't know what exactly it means, dividends, debentures, and he also used like fishing and getting trapped in the financial thing. And then, and something which was really new to me was paintings. I didn't know that they're also good form for investment. And there are many quotes which are used, nice ones like, what was it? Leaders are not born, they are made. And the evaluator also used one, leadership is action and not position. And other words were like charismatic leader, altruistic leader, emotional intelligence, boost the morale, raise the bar, in a nutshell, conveniently skip, rhetorical devices, segregated room, seamless passing, and clearly visualize, truthfully or brutally honest. In this place of knowledge, I really love this particular sentence. In this place of knowledge, I would like to shed some knowledge. And so there are so many. There are just few recommendations which I felt we could have done better justice to. Is like instead of saying there is a 3 ground rule, you should say there are 3 ground rules. And instead of saying very concentrate, you can say, you can use pay attention. And when I was 23, I have the habit, it should have been, I had the habit. And there's no proportional owner. It is either part owner or proportional ownership. And the other things, like there are many subject verb disagreements also, and some of them, like which I would like to highlight, is like it is changes takes. Sorry, 1 second. Changes take place. It's not changes takes place. Leadership skills comes. It is leadership skills come. So there are some of them, and children is already a plural. We cannot say children's. And invest into, instead of invest into, it should be invest in. And during the word master session, I saw it was origination. It should be origin of the word. Other than that, and one more thing which I noticed was the word master had taken a lot of effort to come up with the word commodious. Though each role player had commodious scope to use the word of the day, it was hardly used. So with that, I would like to hand it back to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Tina.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shobha. Next, we have our R counter, which will be led by Toastmaster Anshuman, who works in the production division of Emirates Global Aluminium and is the current VPE of Newstart. Over to you, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shobha. Today's R counter report is the word of the day. Word master, Toastmaster Biju, had 1 and 1 R. In the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Rajalakshmi had 1 so, 1 and 1 R. In our education session, DTM Hashim Halim had 2 so's, 1 now and 1 Our in table topic session, Toastmaster Shobha had 2 so's and 2 R's. Toastmaster Tina had 2 R's and 2 ands. Toastmaster Brian had 3 ands, and Gavul Ayush had 1 so and 5 ums. And in his evaluation, Toastmaster Brian had 1 R, 1 3 ands, and 1 you know. But the clear winner today is our TMOD, Toastmaster Raghu, with a massive 7 R's, 3 you knows, 1 and 2 nows. Congrats, Toastmaster Raghu.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anshuman. I think you've lived up to your name of being the humor king here. So with that, I think I will take back the podium to being the general evaluator and follow through. The Newstart meeting is always something that I look forward to because there's always something new to learn, and that is the same for today's meeting too. Our SAE started a little bit late, but I think they were just waiting for the role players to come in, and so probably that's why a few minutes late, that's it. Toastmaster Biju, he started with a pleasant smile and he had an inspirational story wherein he twisted the word actor into how it can be made into being a good speaker. I think that was a very good twist to the word actor and something that I will definitely be remembering. And also he was playing, it was like, for me, today's meeting was almost like watching a Bollywood movie because we had role players doing not dual roles, but also triple roles. So which is excellent because I can understand many of our members could probably be traveling and not being able to attend and take up roles. But it was wonderful to see that, you know, everyone was very commodiously taking up roles and playing it very seamlessly without any issues. So Toastmaster Biju also essayed the role of the word master. He brought out a new word, commodious. I've never heard of this word, and I think it was a wonderful way to learn the word commodious. And like Toastmaster, our grammarian said, it could have been used, yes, and I'm also guilty of it. I could have also been commodiously have placed it in many of the speeches or the words that I was using throughout today evening. And I like the fact that he actually used the word in an excerpt, in a quote from a Virginia Woolf's book, because that kind of gave it a real-time scenario of that particular word. And, you know, it's not something that he just got out of the blue. Then over to our presidential address, who was taken out by our acting president, the VPE, Toastmaster Anshuman, who was also again playing a triple role. He was being the Zoom master, he was being an R counter, and he also presented with the presidential address. I mean, his address was, of course, succinct as always and well explained. And he made sure that the guests are welcomed and given their 2 piece of minutes of where they can speak about themselves. And that was excellent. And also what I missed is, if for the guests' sake, you know, a little bit about Newstart, the accolades or the achievements that they have done for the past few weeks or so forth. I feel I missed out on that because I would have loved to know a little bit more, you know, what has been achieved by Newstart or what Newstart is for a new guest who's coming in from outside, who doesn't know Newstart from scratch. And also a little bit more about a TMOD, also an introduction before actually passing on the the podium to or the stage to the TMOD, a little more details about the TMOD, just so that we know who it is and what is its basis, and so that we have a little bit of a starting point to the theme or the topic that he will be presenting. TMOD, wow, it was an all-encompassing theme because he was doing a lot of coverage, and there was a lot of points that he was covering in this short period of time. And he made sure that it was very informative, and there were so many arenas that I was also hearing for the first time. Of course, for me, because I was in the accounting field and all, a lot of things I understood. My only gripe here is many of these terms were too technical and probably went over the head for many of the people. I mean, some of them, of course, we would have understood. Like, for example, what is phishing? If you could have told a little bit more detail as to what phishing is, you would have made the person in the other side understand. Of course, someone who's in this field would definitely understand. Just for the person who is not in the field, a little more detail. And also, I felt the time was going a little overboard, and maybe you could try to see, and if it's going a little bored, adjust your theme accordingly, or the 3-team presentation, and things like that. And I also love the way that you explained exactly how the segments of the meet has been separated into, the prepared speeches, the impromptu speeches, and then to the evaluations. For someone who's coming new to a Toastmaster meet, I think that'll be really helpful so that they understand what exactly is happening in a Toastmaster and how they're going to be benefiting from that. And our speaker came on. You're an excellent speaker. I've been seeing you from the beginning, and I think you have grown by eons. I mean, from your first speech that you were speaking speaking to how confident you are right now. And I think you're on the right way. Excellent. Keep on going. I think your evaluator has given you excellent points. So I'm not going to, step on to that. And after that, the training session. See, training session is, I've already attended a DTM Hashim's training session before. So it was almost like, having new wine in or in a new bottle, old wine in a new bottle, basically. So it was wonderful listening to DTM Hashim's points also. Topics. What an innovative way, Toastmaster Nishta. I mean, I just love the way that you started off with a one-liner. I think it encouraged each and every one to actually, get their creative juices flowing and, encourage them to, bring out their storytelling talents. And I think that was a wonderful way that you presented your table topics, and you made sure you repeated your topics twice so that everyone understood and listened to it, and they were able to present their topic excellently. Our timer, Gavilier Ayush, he also presented in the table topics, and I think he was very diligent in making sure that he's timing. He even managed to time himself while he was being a speaker. So excellent. Oh yeah, yes, you're showing me the green. You are being very diligent. Thank you so much, Gavilier Ayush. Then our evaluator, excellent. I think you incorporated many of the points that you were able to learn in this in the training session, and I think you're already a very excellent speaker, so kudos to that. A grammarian was exactly like a grammar teacher, made sure she covered every single point, and no one was missed. And Toastmaster Anshuman, our counter, even though he was doing 3 roles, he made sure he was a very active listener, and always, as usual, he made sure he brought in a pinch of humor also into his presentation. So it was excellent listening to each and every one of you. I hope I haven't missed anyone. So I think it was excellent. It was a wonderful meet. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of learning, and I really hope for excellent things for Newstart. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Group.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tina. The detailed general evaluation. You have done a great justice to the role. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the theme. I'm just, I'll finish it as early as possible, Anshuman. Maybe you can take me as the TR for the next session as well. I have, you have the leverage. I have the privilege. Okay. Yeah. I will not take much time now because I can't do everything. So let me do something. Okay. Now I was talking to you on licensing music. I will, in detail, I will speak on this later. And I came to know from my son selling stock photos. This is I came to know from my son. And I have to do this because he's clicking a lot of photos and he's into films now. That's the great thing. And creating an app. See, creating an app, you have to sell it. Create an app in your name and you sell it on residual income. That's possible. Another thing. Today, my colleague says she is going to give a training to how to create an app for 5 days training, and she is getting a big amount. And that institute in Karama charging individual 2,500 dirhams. You say 20 people, how much money they are earning, and she is also getting good income. That is one thing is possible. And designing t-shirts, that is possible. I will in detail. I'll come back to you on this because today I will not do that. Vending machines. This is one of the things, I was always thinking, this is possible. In next to your house or in your in the veranda of your house, you can keep one vending machine. People will come put money and take the chips and drinks. And another thing, tea vending machine and coffee vending machine. You can make money with that. That's also passive income is possible. And the storage rentals, rent it out, storage area. I had we have a huge house. My father has got a huge land and house. Everybody comes, keep their car and different things and they go because they have next is agricultural area, paddy area, so they have to walk, so they keep. So such things, you can, anybody wanted storage area in Dubai or in India, you can storage area, you can give it and rent it out. That's possible. In the house, it is possible. Outside the house, it is possible. Renting, both area it is possible. Okay, you can try it out. We have done that. My father used to give everything freely, but I am not doing that. I am only doing social work. That's it. Okay, get paid to have an app on your phone. If you put an app on your phone, it will, it will take all, not data it takes, understands all the communication, whatever you are doing, and it will pay money to you. You can, some apps are available, you can do that. And organic products, what I will tell you, organic products, if you have a good contact with so many networks, and you collect the organic products and sell it to Amazon, DMart, you will make money and obtain space in the TV channels to training, training classes you can run, like how cookery training, same different training is possible. And online virtual. See, my colleague, I knew Excel since 93, but I did not do much in that. He learned Excel and he did Power Pivot. He learned and he did Power BI. This is the latest one. And now in a month, he's getting 40,000 salary, and in a month he's getting $6,000 for online training. So if he can do, why can't you? That is possible. And last but not least, investment will become smart only if you do it at the right time. Now, Tina has got 2 kids. She has to make some deposit of $25,000 plan now. So then it will help. And, Anshuman, you wait. That you have time. I'll tell you at the time, And this one, our Rajalakshmi, she can do. Ayush, you can demand. But okay, that's the thing. At the right time, if you do, at the right, engage with less pressure. Delay will not give you good scope. Hence, think at the right and educate your children as well accordingly. Over to you, Toastmaster Anshuman. Thanks for the opportunity, and you can call me again for the same topic. That's it. Over to you.
Thank you. I'll definitely call you, but I'll strictly follow your time next time. Okay, thank you so much, Raghu. That was a very, very informative session. I never knew vending machines and all came under investment platform before, but it's a very, and I truly believe that each one of us has to take the effort to learn about investment. My dad always tells me that work hard for your money, but make your money work equally hard for you. So I truly believe in that. So having said that, I won't take too much of your time. I think it was a wonderful meeting. I thank DTM Hashim for that wonderful education session, Toastmaster Tina for her lovely general evaluation, and Toastmaster Brian for that evaluation as well. And everyone, all the role players, a great job. You can all give yourselves a pat on the back. Just before I leave, I just want to I hope that education session has encouraged people to take part in our annual speech contest, and especially in the evaluation segment. And I hope that the evaluation, next time I put out the list for our meeting, will never be empty. So having said that, and also one more thing, our best table topic speaker of the day today is Gavel Ayush. For someone so young, you speak so well, just like your mom. So I guess it's there in the blood. So well done, Gavel Ayush. And that's it. Thank you, everyone. So I declare the meeting closed. See you all. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye all. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Good night.
everyone.
See you then.
Toastmaster Brian, special thanks
Thank
to
you so much. And thank
Bye,
you.
good night. Congratulations, Gavali Ayush.
He's there now. I think
He's
you're
not
there.
here. Achha.
What happened, Raj?
He's here only. He's actually my son. And when Anshuman told you speak